A couple hundred years ago, the only thing you had to worry about was a hangover.
You're telling me you're an investigator?
More or less.
Today, because of your curse thingy, you can't sleep with anyone.
We're not a team. I'm your boss.
Or else you might feel a moment of true happiness,
You got a real addiction to the brooding part of life.
lose your soul,
Except for the bulk of it where I was nearly tortured to death.
become evil again,
You're a demon hunter.
Road demon hunt.
and kill everyone.
It's fucking
I
fantastic.
love that sound.
Thanks, Cornelia. I always appreciate your perspective.
Welcome to Ale with Angel, everyone. I'm Josh.
I'm Rex.
And today on Ale with Angel, we're reviewing Season 3, Episode 16 of Angel. It is entitled Sleep Tight.
Yes.
In the ocean, where you're dead with, cement shoes.
Oh, sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah. See what I did there? I'm
Yeah.
very clever, Rex.
Sometimes.
Can't you tell? Fuck you. Sometimes he means all the time, everyone. Every second of every day. Right now.
No one's clever every
Especially-
second of every day.
Especially every half second of every day.
No one's that clever.
Fine. Anyway, so you know what we like, guys? We like it when people review us on iTunes.
Yes.
And somebody finally took up the mantle and broke our really, really long streak of 69. Nice, but also, damn it.
Correct.
And now suddenly we have 72 reviews, or ratings anyway. We only got one written review from, well, Rex is going to say it in a moment. And when we get to 75 reviews, we are going to give away a free hoodie.
Yes.
With the Beer with Buffy / Ale with Angel logo on it. We might even customize it a little bit if you ask nicely.
Yes.
Or if you ask rudely in a really funny way.
Right. Funny trumps politeness.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I hate that word's ruined now.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you bringing up politics for, bro? Get the fuck off my podcast.
Anyway, we have an iTunes review from Elon, our newest doodle-doo.
Fuck a doodle-doo.
They reviewed us.
Not quite yet.
They reviewed us a little bit ago, right after they became our Patreon supporter. Elon, they, them. We may have misgendered you, Elon, and we are so sorry about that.
Not sure, but I kind of got
We're
that
not
vibe
sure.
from one of your messages, so we're just covering our tracks.
Yeah, if we did, we greatly apologize. That was not intentional in any way, shape, or form.
Correct.
Elon's review, 5-star review, is titled The Perfect Duo. I feel bad at writing this review as I'm now bumping you up to 70 reviews. Bless you, number 69. Nice.
Rip 69.
I'm going through every Buffy recap podcast I can find. I usually stick to the queer, POC, and female podcasts, but I've finally found 2 cis men I can laugh with. Y'all are the least toxic men I've found talking about Nice Guy Xander. I've loved binging and catching up. I usually don't listen to Angel podcasts because he's so broody. But you two do it right. I love your laughter. The mom synopsis is always amazing. And Rex ending with "Have a good night" always fills me with happy feelings. I look forward to wherever you go next. May it be a show you can do impressions of. Reeves be with you, Elon. Thank you so much, Elon.
Yeah, he is pretty fucking broody.
Yeah, he is broody.
Oh, boy. We'll get to that.
Honestly, I have things to say about that as well.
Woo!
But no, thank you so much for your review. And remember, when we get up to 75 reviews, we are giving away a free hoodie.
Yeah.
So 5 more.
It was great. I live on that shit. Thank you. It's been a minute.
And remember, it's 75 written reviews. We need written reviews.
And
you can only win if you have written a review, because if you haven't written a review, we have no idea who you are.
And we're going to get to naming your car for you, Elon. I'm assuming that you mean an actual car, since you talked about that in the email, and not the meme car that it is actually a feline house cat of sorts. So we're not going to do that this episode or next episode because we're doing a double up back to back at the moment. Sorry.
Yes.
We will get to it, I promise.
Yeah, what will be weeks difference for all of you listeners will be only a couple hours for us.
The next 3 or 4 hours, yep. Or maybe not even that long. We'll see how it goes.
Right.
See if we can just shit this right out. Right onto the floor.
I wonder if the Patreon supporters and the reviews and the praise that we get for this podcast hasn't just really upped your level of inappropriateness.
No, I think it's just made me comfortable to be the man that I am today.
Oh, that's fair.
It was always there.
It was always there.
At least from the time that I turned 12 years old.
You hit 12 and never looked back.
That's... Nope, I just stayed in the same spot. I don't need to look back. I'm still there.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
You stopped looking forward. You stopped moving altogether. You just planted your feet and was like, here's my humor. I will live here.
That's correct.
I can accept that.
Still can't eat whipped cream without making a cum joke. You know? That's all middle school was cum jokes.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Exactly.
It was fucking nuts. Like cum.
That might be, by the way, a generational thing, though.
Yeah.
Like,
it's probably going to come back around. I don't know if it is or not. It's going to be just a millennial thing, isn't it?
It might be.
We're all obsessed with cum. Oh, well. I don't know. Have you seen 70s porn?
No comment.
Me either, but I can imagine it. And no, sir,
anyway,
I don't like it.
Speaking of obsession, we have some obsessed people here. A whole list of them.
Ooh.
Our executive doodle doos. Remember, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do that. Patreon.com/beerwithbuffy. Join our list of executive doodle doos.
Bagok.
Bagok indeed. They are as follows: Elon Bond, Tracy Kidd, Willie Chalker, Liam Neville, Monica Fonseca, Tsuba Spike, Audrey Two French Last Names, Bridget McCloy, Did I See a Thiacine, Allie B, Nathan Lancy, Dulcinea, Rachel Doodledoo, DTS, Cubby the Seal, Mr. Tabalicious, Sandra Craig, Jay Sommer, Catherine Parkinson, Karen Moon, Chris V. Man, Misa Laika the Turtles Okide, Bad at Changing Their Name Heaps, Two-Tone Don't Fucking Call Bradley Cooper Gnome, Father Defenestrato, Methuen de Doodle-Doo, Kelly MC, Jesse Rain, Alex from the Heart, and Carrie Phillips. Thank you so much. Without you all, this show literally is not possible.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced thylacine, or at least that's what Google told me. I don't think they're going to chase us down and beat us until we pronounce it properly, but I'm a stickler for those kind of things.
Hold on.
Fuck. I already Googled it. What are you going to do?
It's not that I don't trust you. It's that I want as much backup for the answer as possible.
But also, Google AI could have been completely fucking with me because it's bullshit.
Thylacine or thylacine.
It's definitely not thylacine, though.
I am wrong on 2 counts. That's okay. I'm a grown man. I can admit when I'm wrong.
Great.
I just don't like being wrong.
Yeah. Well, who does?
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, there's our normal business parts of the podcast out of the way. It's time for the mob synopsis.
Joshua! What are you doing, Joshua? Why are you asking? I'm absolutely not kidnapping a baby, and it's ludicrous of you to accuse me of such a thing. A baby? What baby? You didn't tell me I had a grandson? That's because you don't. He's not mine. He's Rex's. What? You and Rex had a baby together? Excuse the fuck out of me. What the fuck? I think that's a very problematic term, Mother. Oh, you and your woke nonsense, Joshua. You didn't answer my question. I'm not going to dignify that with a response, okay? Well, then whose baby are you kidnapping? I told you, no one's, and I'm certainly not kidnapping no one's baby. Who's no one? Tell them I want to adopt them so I can have grandchildren. All right, that's it. I'm opening a hell dimension. Joshua, are you implying I'm some sort of demon from hell? Is there a better explanation for you? How about that I'm your mother who loves you and puts a roof over your head, and how dare you, who gaslights me and is narcissistically abusive. Yeah. I'm opening up the hell dimension for me. I will take my chances in there over you and the possibility of another Trump presidency any day. Wait, take me with you. No! Because today on Angel... Angel discovers he's been drinking trace amounts of Connor's blood in his pig's blood as a subterfuge tactic by Wolfram and Hart, who stole Connor's blood sample from the doctor's office last episode. Angel confronts Lila about her sick game and accidentally meets Sajan and learns that they are sworn enemies, apparently. Wesley once again visits Holtz, who gives him a day to do something about Angel's prophecy to kill the baby before he comes in and does it for him. Wesley takes this to heart and enacts a plan to kidnap the baby and take him away forever. He is ambushed by a ruse from Justine, who cuts his throat, leaves him for dead, and instead delivers the baby to Holtz, who intends to raise the baby as his own in the middle of nowhere. Angel chases him down, so does Lila, with a private army behind her. Sajan interrupts a standoff between Holtz, Angel, and Lila by opening a portal to a hell dimension, threatening to swallow them all unless they kill the baby. Holtz escapes with the baby into the hell dimension, leaving Lila otherwise indifferent and Angel absolutely wrecked. The end.
Ladies, gentlemen, spiny-headed looking creatures. As soon as the sun goes down. As soon as the sun goes down. Vampire. Competition is a beautiful thing. Moves here.
Is it really escapes into a hell dimension, though?
I mean, technically,
I don't think that counts as escaping.
travels into.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the frying pan into the fire, you know? The man wanted his revenge. We'll get
I think that's out of the frying pan and into the volcano. We open on the hotel with Wesley looking over his prophecy notes, staring fucking daggers at the father will kill the son prophecy.
Again
for the millionth fucking time.
Practically exactly how we started last episode.
Much so that I had to double check and make sure I was watching the right episode.
I almost did too, but I just watched for another 3 seconds and it was fine. I thought they were going to pull another dream sequence on us the way Angel enters, and it's like, geez, Wes, don't you know what you're supposed to do? But then they drop the tense music that they do on purpose.
Yeah.
Like they're purposefully misleading us. Almost every opening.
Yeah, they're really trying hard with that.
One way or another.
Yeah.
You never know which direction they're going to go, but you can always assume that it's the opposite of how it starts.
Yeah.
So anyway, they drop the tense music and he's like, well, you pick him up, dummy.
Yeah, he's very chipper.
Referring to the baby.
Angel's very, very chipper.
Yeah. I had a quote of the day out of the gate here. Angel says, yeah, and you look like hell. And not the fun one where they burn you with hot pokers for all eternity, but the hardcore one, you know, Nixon and Britney Spears. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Not super clever, but kind of funny anyway.
Kind of humorous.
Mm-hmm. Nixon. Yeah, whatever.
I'm getting kind of tired of chipper, happy-go-lucky fucking Angel here.
Oh, I'm so sick of him, but
sick of
you
him.
know what? Spoiler alert, that's not going to last much longer.
Right. They talk about the situation with the hotel. Wesley mentions that there's no insurance to pay for the damages in the room. Angel very happily is like, hey, the bonus of living in a hotel is I just moved to another room.
Which I find it hard to believe that the damage was localized to only Angel's bedroom.
Right.
But that seems to be the yarn they're spinning here. But Angel's not worried because...
The thing is, though, I could imagine that because the biggest piece of damage was really the fire, not so much the earthquake.
I guess.
I imagine there's damage elsewhere in the building, but probably a lot less so.
I mean, it would have knocked over the stove one way or another and broken the gas line.
Right.
And then...
But how many stoves do they have in other rooms?
That's a good question.
That particular suite was set up as more of an apartment, so...
Yeah.
To me, it would make sense that like the fire was the biggest problem, and they managed to get the fire under control to where it didn't spread to the other rooms necessarily.
I mean, a beam from the ceiling also crashed into the floor. So,
but I mean, also, if they have no insurance, and we don't even know how they really are paying for the damn building in the first place, I like to think that they're just really squatting here.
Basically.
And like, because like, no fire marshal would be like, yeah, you can just move into another room. It's fine.
No problem. Yeah, they'd definitely be getting inspected. They would have more than just Wolfram and Hart up their ass on that kind of bullshit. But you know what? We're just going to glaze over that. So Angel's not worried. They've got lots of rooms. They hear singing in the courtyard, and it's because Lauren has a client. And Angel and Wesley, they go and watch her play guitar for a moment. She's really nice, and she really sounds good. And then he's like, hey, Connor, you want to see something cool? And he runs over to his weapons cabinet, and he's like, that's Daddy's favorite broadsword. And I'm sure even Connor is like, yeah, no shit. You mention it like literally every day.
Yeah.
Shut up, Dad.
Oh, and then he turns and hands Connor to Wesley. As he turns away from Wesley, quote of the day here, it's your Uncle Wes. Yeah, he loves you bunches. He's just English.
And so far, Angel's got this weird attitude, and I wouldn't even describe it as chipperness. He's just got a weird attitude, you know? It's very Angelus-like. I really felt like like he had actually turned into Angelus, but Angelus is being sneaky and is like not going to reveal it right away.
Well, and I think that's just because any of the times that we've seen Angel, or rather David Boreanaz, acting in any capacity of like happy, giddy, goofy, it's more when he's Angelus than ever when he's Angel.
Well, and I also think that was what they wanted us to think until the reveal of why he's actually acting differently.
Yeah.
So I think they did it really well because they had me going
it's subtle.
Right
it's
up until the moment.
Subtle.
Yeah. And it's a good display of David Boreanaz's acting skills. But anyway, yeah, Fred's on the phone with Gunn. She's coming down the stairs, and then Gunn enters in the front door, and they keep talking and being all cutesy, and they don't hang up.
They're debating whether California or Texas is the better state in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to break it to you guys, but it's still in the U.S., and it still has the U.S. healthcare system. They can't really be all that great.
Yeah, I'm going to go with neither.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't afford to live in California. And Texas is Texas.
Yeah.
No offense, anybody that actually lives there and likes it, but I don't know, it seems a bit red for me.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I've been there. It's so fucking hot.
Right?
It's really hot.
Anytime anyone is like the states that are really hot, like Arizona or Texas or anything, and it's like, oh, but it's a dry heat. And it's like, no, fuck you. It's still hot. I don't give a shit if it's a dry heat.
And it wasn't
it's
a dry.
still fucking hot.
It wasn't a dry heat when I was there. It was the muggiest shit I've ever seen in my life. It was like walking around in an oven that had a pan of water in the bottom of it.
As a friend of mine often puts it, like walking around in someone's mouth.
Yeah, except I imagine worse.
Right?
Because someone's mouth is only about 100 degrees. It was probably upwards of 105, 110.
Oh, God.
It was fucking awful.
I don't... like, we've had a few days here that it was, like, low 90s to, at most, mid-90s, and it's like, no, fuck that. Fuck that. Dude, I want to just move north.
It was only 78 today, and I went for a relatively short walk, like half an hour, and I thought I was going to fucking die by the end of it.
Yeah, I can't deal with this heat.
I had to step
Global warming sucks.
I had to step into a fucking coffee shop that was luckily halfway back and just sit there for a minute and soak up the air conditioning and get a coffee that I still haven't finished here. I'm just going to have a sip of that right now, actually.
Yeah, you got an electrolyte drink, a water, ginger beer, and a coffee.
Yeah. I'm a pig in shit right now.
And I have my ginger beer, and I have also an electrolyte drink.
Aw, I'm so happy for you. Look at us.
We lots of beverages here. We like to stay hydrated.
Boy. So, yeah, they don't even stop talking until they're right in front of each other. It's fucking adorable. It makes me want to puke. Yeah. Wes snidely mentions he's glad that they're using company phones for such important calls. And but he is not actually glad that they are using the company phones for such not important calls.
Yeah.
I felt like that was very disingenuous of him to say that.
One might call it sarcasm.
Or fucking sarcasm. Go fuck yourself.
I was trying to be pretentious about it.
Passive aggressive, if you will. Yeah. But that's okay.
I don't know. There was so much. His lines were so steeped in sarcasm that I don't think there was anything passive about that aggression.
He's still a better boss than me. It's fine. So, Angel interrupts about, he's like, oh, we need to chain this shit up. Chain him up. Whatever. He's talking about baby-proofing the house, which he mentioned a minute ago. Who gives a shit? Wesley mentions he'd like to take Connor to the park, just the two of them sometime. And I'm like, dude, are you trying to date Angel's baby, Wes? Because what are your intentions towards his infant? I'm a little concerned here.
Well, we know why he's offering to take him to the park.
But Angel's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, great, fine, do that sometime, I promise.
Outside of the nefarious plans that he has during this episode, like, I don't think it would be that weird in this scenario for him to be like, oh yeah, I'll take him out for the day.
I know.
Give you a break.
I'm just making a really
I
stupid joke.
I know.
Yeah.
Enter Lorne, who asks them to step out into the courtyard to meet Kim. He encourages her to start singing, and she starts singing and gets through the chorus, and at the tail end of the chorus, she suddenly turns into a demon.
Oh, no.
And yells out, I will hack your eyeballs out and rip your children in two.
And then starts gurgling gross, bright green fucking bile from his fucking mouth.
And then we end the scene with Lorne to camera. Catchy finish, huh?
So she turns back into a human and she's crying and still has green vomit on her lips. But, I'm starting to wonder if she's a little bit possessed.
Something's going on.
Seems like that might
be
similar or something. Anyway, opening sequence. Meow, 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 meow. So Lauren's client was hanging out with a band that started transforming into demons overnight and started playing shitty music.
Yeah.
Specifically, beyond industrial trash noise funk, which I think is too kind for what it actually is, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
And one day, it legitimizes it too much, but it's really trash is the only word in there that I agree with.
Right.
And so one day, her demon thing happened, and Fred and Wesley inform her that it's just an infection, and she can take some fake fantasy medicine to get rid of it that they will provide for her. I assume you looked that up, Rex?
No.
No? All right.
I just assumed that it was, some made-up mystical antibiotic.
Very probably. So Angel is uncharacteristically excited to go fuck up these demons called Wraithers.
Yep, they're called Wraithers. They're demons who can temporarily turn themselves into human. Gunn then asks, why would they become musicians? And, of course, Angel suggests, it's for the chicks.
To get the chicks, man!
He goes on a little bit too long about getting chicks.
Right. He's really broing out here.
Yeah.
Like, in the beginning of this scene, he's like, flying nuns and something else. Good one, G.
Can I tell you that the word chicks is a slang term that I'm happy is mostly dead.
Oh, yeah. It's horribly dated.
It's a terrible term.
And it was never particularly good to begin with.
Exactly.
Like, tell me you're an incel without telling me you're an incel.
Yeah.
Or a misogynist.
Or on the same level as anytime anyone calls a woman a female.
Yeah.
Which, of course, just makes me think of Ferengi.
Yeah. The space Jews.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? So yeah, they're holing up in some abandoned warehouse. She said a loading dock, but you got to be a warehouse to have a loading dock.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are all these warehouses abandoned? That's a lot of fucking real estate that should really be made use of by someone, you would think. But
I've always really wondered, like, what the level of abandoned properties there are in bigger cities like LA or Chicago or New York and whatnot.
mm-hmm.
Like, obviously there has to be some abandoned shit. Like, that
I guess.
that seems like it would be the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe buildings that are condemned, but no one really has the money to tear them down or something like that.
And the location is shitty, or it's on brownfield,
exactly.
or something.
And like I know there's some abandoned buildings in Chicago where all the fucking iron foundries and whatnot used to be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
it makes me wonder just how many abandoned buildings are there in these cities.
Probably too many.
Yeah.
I don't want to share my feelings. I don't want to open up. I want to find the guy that killed Tina, and I want to look him in the eye. Then what? Then I'm going to share my feelings.
So Fred suggests bringing Cordelia and Gruselog back into the fold, but apparently her agent negotiated several episodes of time off for her. So
Yes.
Angel's like, nah, fuck that. She deserves the time off. So let's go fuck some shit up. And Wesley makes Lauren the babysitter again and puts Angel and Gunn and Fred on the murder task. Did I say murder? I meant extermination.
Yeah.
Or assassination? Who cares? Let's kill him.
Murder, murder, murder.
Murder, death, kill. So Wesley, however, does not go with them. He fucks right off because he has, air quotes, some business to tend to.
Yeah. What kind of business, Wesley?
Well, he's not shopping for eggs, Rex.
No, he's really not. Cut to Holtz's house?
Holtz and friends.
Holtz and friends?
Holtz and friends.
I guess it would be a house. I don't know if I like calling it a lair.
I really want
or
to
a
come
base.
up with a ridiculous sitcom-style opening theme song for Holtz and Friends. I was going to try and crack one off the top of my head real quick, but I don't think I have it in me.
No, that sounds like it would be much harder to do than would seem on the surface.
Holtz and Friends, you gotta love it. We're all Holtz and Friends. Where do you go when you need a friend? You call Holtz and Friends.
I don't like it.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Anyway, Holtz's house, Justine is training their men.
Well, she's
Dude's not very good at fighting chained up vampires.
She's whipping some chained up vampire ass while also at the same time lecturing her crew on trust, and then tells them to keep practicing. And I'm like, I mean, are you going to let them?
Right.
You're the one over there whipping their asses. They're chained up for a reason. You know, let them make a mistake. It's okay if they get bit. It's not a zombie.
Right.
You know? And then everybody can help them out. Whatever. It'll teach
As
them.
has been pointed out in the series, it's a whole blood-sucking thing.
Yeah.
You get your blood drink, then you drink their blood. There's a process here.
Sometimes you got to learn the hard way. But Holtz hates styrofoam cups for his tea because deep down he's a Ponzi fuck. He calls it a cotton cup.
Come on.
Which I think...
Come on, though.
No, you're right. They suck.
They're awful.
I am also...
Styrofoam is fucking awful.
You know how I know he's a Ponzi fuck?
What?
Because I am also a Ponzi fuck. Styrofoam
you can
is
smell your own.
Fucking terrible. Yes, exactly. I need ceramic. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And Justine offers to get him some actual like ceramic cups.
It says China.
Yeah, China. Yeah. I mean, and you know, he asks if she's ready to essentially storm the hotel.
You storming the castle?
And whether or not she's okay with killing people. And she's not really that okay with killing people.
I mean, you know, just because they help vampires, and Holtz is like slowly pulling a knife out, and he's like, oh, is that a different kettle of fish for you? With a very menacing tone about him. So Justine backs that opinion up real fast.
Yeah.
She's practically making a beeping. You can
I don't
hear,
even think she noticed the knife.
You can hear the beeping sound. Yeah, well, she knew something was wrong, though.
Yeah. I mean, he obviously scares her.
She's pretty aware. They're all very spatially aware. I think she knew he was doing something with his hands.
Yeah, maybe.
And then Wesley pops up behind Holtz again for some tea. He pops in for some tea because he's British. And Holtz uses his little jackknife to cut a slice of apple and offer it to Wesley. It seemed like the most random ass thing. Would you like some apple? And I'm like, interesting. I think this bit here is that he had no intention of using it on Justine.
Right.
Or at least that's how he wanted it to look.
Yeah.
And he was always just going to cut off a slice of apple with
Yeah.
it. I mean, it was just a little pig sticker.
I mean, you know, sometimes when you have an apple and you want to slice into that apple, you have to draw your knife, your secret knife from your sleeve as menacingly as possible.
Absolutely.
You want the apple to feel terror. It just tastes better that way.
If you make it scared enough, you can turn it into alcoholic cider.
Yeah.
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 And if you listen carefully, you can hear it pee itself.
But no, Justine has harsh words for Wesley, but Holtz talks her down. He's in the throes of a very difficult decision. Give him a break.
And he's our guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So cut to the abandoned loading dock where, okay.
The shittiest of
I get it
music.
now. Beyond industrial trash noise funk. I mean, I think she just meant shitty garage butt rock, but okay, I got it.
It is definitely shitty garage butt rock.
Yeah. So, and the lyrics, not even worth repeating.
The thing about this music, who do you hire when you're like, okay, we need to hire a band to play music that will be notably shitty.
Terrible.
And
yeah.
like we want it to sound shitty. Like the characters will know it sounds shitty.
Yeah.
But you have to hire someone and be like, hey, play shitty music. But do you like go out and find a band who already plays shitty music and then be like, hey, your music sucks,
you know,
but we got a job for you anyway?
I think that's a perfectly legitimate, viable option. But allow me to share an anecdote of my theatrical days with you. When I was a theater major, I played Cloten in Shakespeare's Cymbeline, which not that it's important, but that's one of his unfinished plays. If you want to do that show, you have to finish it yourself or find somebody else's script who has finished it. So our director took a lot of liberties with that script, like you're supposed to. And there's one scene where my character was supposed to sing a very, very bad song. Badly.
Right.
And so we went the opposite of the route that you concocted there. We hired the head of the music department
to help you make like a specifically
write a
That's
terrible
interesting.
song that sounded like it came from that period.
I guess that makes sense if you can figure out how to write good music. You know how to write bad music.
Yeah, he knows what's bad.
Yeah.
But it was honestly, it was a little too smart.
Yeah.
He was like, I mean, I could tell that it was terrible, but there were all sorts of very technical reasons why it was terrible.
Right.
So I was impressed. It was fun. People laughed at me a lot. I had a good time. We all had a good time.
I think it'd just be easier to go find a really shitty band and be like, hey, look, guys, you know your music sucks.
Well, who knows? Maybe that's what they did, because these guys looked as generic as punk rockers come.
Yeah.
Good for them, I guess.
I kind of liked the style of prosthetics and shit that they had going on.
I liked
thought
what
that
they
was kinda
did,
cool.
making them look like they were halfway in between
Yeah.
human and turning back into these wraither demons. But then a rock flies through the window, and Fred, Gunn, and Angel under a blanket meander in. Well, just Angel's under a blanket.
Yeah.
They argue about the window. One of the dudes in the band is like, hey, man, you're going to pay for that. But shit doesn't really escalate until generic punk rocker number 2, Mr. Spiny Back Gross Nose over there. He threatens Fred with some gross demon rape.
Yeah.
And Gunn doesn't like that.
No.
Because, I mean, I don't think they'd even have to be dating for Gunn to not like that.
I think that would quite upset both Gunn
Yeah.
and Angel.
And
as well.
Angel and Wesley and
And Fred, for that
Cordelia
matter.
and Lorne and like literally and the hobo that moves Wesley's body later. Sorry,
Yeah.
spoilers. Really, just anybody. It's an
Yeah.
upsetting thing to say. So this doesn't sit well with Gunn, who knocks this guy's stupid ass back up on stage with one swing
Right.
as he charges Gunn like a fucking idiot. Fred ushers their lady friends out the door as things escalate. I assume at this point that these women were just being held under duress.
I don't know. They were dancing to the music.
Yeah.
They might have been weird kind of groupies.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Who knows? Angel goes all Leroy Jenkins and just fucks up the Wraithers' days.
Gunn doesn't really get to do shit.
Barely. I mean, he does pop off an arrow into one of their necks at some point, but mostly Gunn and Fred just look concerned for Angel.
Yeah, concerned as he literally rips them limb from fucking limb.
Yeah.
Like, and the end of the scene is he holds up one of their arms. Is like, oh, that was fun. And
I'm having a good time.
Because like he vamped out faster than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And was like just fucking leapt from across the room up onto the stage and just started tearing them a fucking apart.
You know, I don't get why they're so concerned. I would be pretty thankful to have Angel on my side at this point.
But also, it's like, really, dude, you're holding back that much? Come on.
You're enjoying that a little too much there, buddy. Normally, you're just a little sad about it. Like, I hate having to be so violent, but I'm so good at it. Oh, no.
Nope. He's just having a good old time here.
He's like, whoop, 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 whoop.
You're not real. Or I'm not real. Somebody here isn't real, and I suspect it's you. So if you're not real, then that means that my head came off back there, and then I'm dead now. Dead.
Yeah, we're back at Holtz's hideout. Holtz refuses still to agree that Angel having a soul absolves him of anything he did without a soul because he's an obtuse cunt.
Yeah.
And
Wesley's trying to negotiate that no one gets hurt. He doesn't want anyone getting injured. He wants to avoid bloodshed completely. And Justine...
And Holtz is like, oh my, no.
Yeah. Justine is, of course, skeptical of Wesley's intentions and trying to like call him out and whatnot. And I like this because he asks her what she's doing there, and she's a little confused at the question. But he's like, you lost someone. And she's like, yeah, I lost family.
Yeah, he does the most unexpected thing whatsoever. He shows empathy.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
And then he's like, you lost family. Well, I know what that feels like. And then he grabs her and puts a knife to her throat and explains to her that these people are his family. And when
he says he doesn't want to see people get hurt, he mostly means them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's a little ripper in all the Watchers, or at least him and Giles.
Yeah.
And he did work with Giles a fair bit.
And remember, he was a rogue demon hunter.
He was, in fact. Yep. Anyway, Holtz diffuses the situation, and he has kind of a good point here. Even though Wes doesn't trust him, he knows that Wesley's real problem is that Angel is going to kill the child if he doesn't do something about it. But I don't believe Holtz when he says that he's not a problem right now, because literally his next sentence is that he's only going to give Wesley a day to do something before he's going to hurt a lot of people. That sounds like a fucking problem to me.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust Holtz. I wouldn't trust Holtz one bit.
Yeah, especially considering it's definitely not a day before he shows up.
Right.
Yeah. We'll get there. So cut back to the Hyperion,
where Lorne is telling Connor a story about Sammy Davis Jr. singing My Way in front of Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, I don't really get the punchline of this story.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's something about somebody being short and one-eyed and Jewish.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
I could tell that even Andy Hallett did not think this was funny, but boy, was he trying.
Right?
He was like, who writes this shit? All right. But Angel, Fred, and Gunn get back, and Angel goes straight to the blood.
Straight to the blood.
Lauren sings Connor's praises. Lauren suggests that Connor might need some Papa love, and Angel flies off the fucking handle about
he's in a bit of a mood.
Connor needing things all the time, and he needs to just, you know what he needs? He needs to grow up.
Yes, the baby needs to grow up.
Well, I mean, that is categorically true.
Yes, but, like, take your time. Enjoy it as it goes.
Yeah, and he just hucks his glass of blood at the fucking wall. Gunn does absolutely the right thing, partially anyway, and he's like, you need to get the fuck a hold of yourself right the fuck now, bruh. But he doesn't point the fucking crossbow at him. That's what he needed to do. He needed to be a little more aggressive about that.
I would attribute that to the fact that Gunn doesn't know shit about Angelus.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I don't think he has met Angelus yet.
With Wesley and Cordy not here, none of these people know the full extent of fear you should give Angel.
That is a good point. Yeah. Huh. 'Cause these are all new characters. We don't have Wesley, we don't have Cordy. Yeah. But luckily it doesn't become an issue because Angel snaps out of it a bit and realizes something is very wrong.
Yeah.
So Lauren suggests Angel's been, I couldn't help but notice you've been drinking a lot of blood recently there, buddy.
Yeah, and he explains that, the last couple of days he really has.
But he's been getting it from the same butcher as he always does.
Yeah.
It's pig's blood. And Gunn likens his behavior to his aunt's Southern Comfort alcoholism, essentially. And Angel makes a good point that he needs blood. He can't be a bloodaholic. But
right.
Lauren is like, aha, he is a professional bartender also.
Right.
It's like, unless somebody's spiking your drink.
Yeah.
And Fred decides she's going to test the blood.
He did at one point say that this batch seemed a bit extra tasty.
Extra tasty. So now we're out on the sidewalk.
Yep. Where Wes is walking home and figures out that Justine is following him.
Yeah, and not very well, but
No,
it's
not very
apparently
well.
because she wanted to talk to him.
Yeah.
And when Wesley correctly surmises she wants to offer him help behind Holtz's back, she goes right back to arguing Holtz's side. But Wesley breaks it down. He respects her loss. He respects her choice to work for someone she believes to be noble and good. But Angel, in fact, is noble and good.
And Holtz isn't.
Yeah, and even though Angel's a vampire and Holtz is... it doesn't matter because Holtz is just out for revenge and doesn't care who gets hurt in the process.
Right.
She tries to justify Holtz again. Quote of the day here. I loved it when Wesley says, "It sounds like a nice cult."
Right? Yeah.
Because he almost meant it.
Right.
Must be nice.
Well, and the whole reason cults exist is because they seem very nice at first.
I'm sure they're nice at first.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you get people.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. So,
literally, that is how they get you.
It is, yeah.
That's how they draw you in.
So
you're just going along one day and you're like, I like this. I have this family I found and it's so inviting. And bam, you're in a cult. And you're like, wow, how did I get in this cult? I seem to have been in this cult for quite a long time.
You're just
now.
trying to save $12 on a haircut and suddenly you're in a cult. What the fuck?
What?
The nighttime is the right time.
$12 on a haircut.
Yeah.
What is that referencing?
Well, it's from a 90s album of Adam Sandler's comedy albums that were actually from before he got famous. I did not realize that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Lots of little audio sketches, and that's one of them. Like he's trying to convince his friend to join a cult, and he's like, "Come on, man, just fucking do it. You get a free haircut. You save yourself $12. Why wouldn't you do it?" I don't know, man. It's just, it's ridiculous.
Anyway, Wes walks away. He's just not. He has no space for this bullshit. He walks away. And then Justine turns around to find that Holtz is directly behind her. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, because, that's not menacing at all.
No.
Like, oh, you're not allowed to leave? That's how you know you're in a cult.
Yeah.
Your leader is possessive of you and scary.
But also this just likens back to a previous episode where one of the first conversations between Holtz and Wesley, Holtz is like, "Oh, you don't trust me." And Wesley's like, "Maybe it's the dark, gravelly voice."
And that always seems to come up. It seems like Holtz very much thrives on getting people... Anybody who needs to say, "You can trust me," guess what? You can't fucking trust them.
Right.
That's not how trust is earned. Oh, he told me that I could trust him. Why wouldn't that be true?
You never have to explain to somebody you can trust them because it's really easy to show them that you can trust them.
Yeah.
really easy.
Just be trustworthy.
Yeah.
And they will trust
Exactly.
you. And don't betray that trust.
Exactly.
And then, because that is actually being trustworthy. Holt's not trustworthy.
No.
So,
Not even a little.
Yeah. There's probably more red flags about a cult than that, but that's a big one.
Right.
So,
I think stabbing someone in the hand and being like, I will trust you when you don't pull this out, like, that's a big red flag.
it's
too.
training though, Rex. you gotta do mind over matter shit.
You know,
It's just like wax on, wax off, except with a fucking pick through your hand. Sorry, an awl.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's an all. Thank you for that correction. When you give me looks like that, sometimes I wish the listeners could hear the look you give.
I made sure to audibly exhale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's worth it though.
Cut back to the Hyperion, and as Fred's about to give them the results of the blood test, Angel confirms what he already suspected, that there is a touch of human's blood in the pig's blood,
Yeah.
but not just any human. It's Connor's blood. Why are we even testing the fucking blood?
Right.
She didn't have to tell him any of this.
Yeah, and he points out that he knows it's Connor's blood because Connor's been smelling like food lately.
That's not good. Ever since he got that blood. And that's what they did with the vial that Lila had stolen from the doctor's office.
Yeah.
So the A-team correctly surmises that they're doing it to try to make Angel kill the baby. And, why? Just to fuck with him? Or is it to fulfill Holtz's contract? I guess that's probably more of the reason.
Remember, Sajan went to Lila. So it's Sajan's plan.
I'm sorry, I meant Sajan.
Yeah.
Not Holtz.
Because it's Sajan's plan. He
Yeah.
actually wants Connor dead.
Yeah. And he hired Wolfram and Hart. So
Yeah.
that's why they're doing that. All right. Never mind. Cut to Lila's watering hole.
Cut to a bar where Lila is sitting there at the counter looking at herself in the mirror, and she starts talking and kind of like cat hisses at the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns around, and lo and behold, Angel's behind her.
She's like, I can just sense when you're there now.
Yeah.
That's very intimate.
It is.
These two, man, they're going to be best friends someday.
Right?
Or not.
Or not.
Yeah, I don't care what you say. That's an impressive level of intimacy for two people that are sworn enemies.
Quote of the day here. Kind of a quote of the day. Or a conversation of the day. Lila says, how'd you find me? Angel says, your assistant. She says, well, I'll have to have his arms broken. Already taken care of.
Already taken care of. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
I like that.
So Angel simply wants to know why she did it. And after the boilerplate response of, it's my job, he tries to get her to open up like a human, but ironically, she's kind of less human than him at this point.
Yeah. I mean, there's two people here, and, there's only one soul.
Basically, well, hers is, it's hanging by a thread.
Yeah.
Because she self-admittedly became... they talk about game face, and Angel's like, you got to be careful or you're going to turn into that. Your face will get stuck that way, like your mother told you. She's like, oh, fuck off. I turned into my game face years ago.
Yeah. She gives a little bit of a synopsis of like how she got where she is, that sort of thing. And it all basically amounts to she's a woman in a man's world, in climbing the corporate ladder, having to be more cutthroat than all the men she works with. And, makes sense.
But also she has no regrets because her job pays for her mom's Alzheimer's care facility. Mm-hmm. And that's that last bit of thread of her soul is caring for her mother. I think that's the last thing she cares about.
But also, like, that's American healthcare for you.
Right?
You got to sell your soul to an evil law firm that's backed by demons in order to afford, the basics of care for your Alzheimer's mother.
Or be a professional chemist and make lots of meth and become a drug lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, one or the other. Those are your two options. So, yeah, she goes on about how she's not helpless. She resents him for being presumptuous enough to assume that's what she wants or needs. And she looks forward to making his life eternally miserable. And she clinks their glasses to that. Yeah. And Sajan catches them in the act.
Yeah.
Of hating each other. But
traitor!
But he doesn't really know what he's seeing because he thinks they're being all chummy.
Yeah.
Angel has no idea who this fucker is, even though he claims to be a sworn enemy.
I love this little bit here.
It's fun. It's kind of fun.
It's fun because, like, Angel does not give a shit about him.
And Angel figures out, like, first thing, he's like, oh, you're the one that brought Holtz back.
Yeah.
Then he asks one more question. He's like, you'll learn nothing from me, except that you're the one that brought Holtz back and then came to Wolfram and Hart when he couldn't hack it. So
it's like, hey, Sajan, you kind of let a lot out here.
Oops. But Sajan's still just as tight-lipped about why he wants to kill Angel this time as he was last episode. Right. And then he fucks right off. Quote of the day here. Sajan, as he's leaving, says, "You will pay." Angel says, "For what?" It's like, I could just see Jerry Seinfeld in his face. For what?
What did I do?
What did I do? What's with that?
Jesus Christ.
I was hoping for some demon fighting tonight, but I wound up with a delivery job instead. If I come back here on the end of a spatula, I'm expecting some serious workman's comp. I'm just messing with y'all.
So we're back at the Hyperion for, frankly, an impressively tense scene.
Yes.
This
very tense.
Scene, I love how it's done so much.
The only thing that threw me off is at the beginning of the scene, Wes walks into the hotel and Connor is there in his bassinet in the middle of the lobby, fucking alone.
Completely unattended.
And I understand
but not
why.
For very long. I mean.
Right. But to me, it seems like that's a pretty good distance to leave the baby unattended. Because Lauren went upstairs to get a bottle or whatnot. The only reason I have an issue with this is the baby is left in the bassinet in the middle of the lobby.
That is
unsecured
to the public.
And he is a prophesized baby that a lot of people want to kill.
Yeah, that's a problem now that you mention it.
And it just, the moment I realized that, where the fuck did Lauren go?
Yeah.
What the hell, Lauren?
I mean, he comes right back,
job.
but yeah, that's not good.
No.
Well, fuck, everyone makes mistakes.
But anyway, aside from that, the entire scene is fucking gold.
Yeah, so, all that little plot hole aside, so yes. Wesley packs up Connor's shit and has to talk his way around Lauren, who is immediately suspicious, and when Wesley makes the mistake of singing a lullaby to Connor, Lauren reads him. And just the little step back that Lauren takes was perfect.
Yeah.
So Wes has to do the only logical thing he can do. He puts the baby back down really slowly, and then bam, he tackles fucking Lauren and grapples with him for a moment, and then grabs some sort of statue and knocks him the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit.
Oh, man. The moment. So, Wes and Gunn are out getting food. He mentions that. And the lie he tells Lauren is that he's taking Connor to his place for the night.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's a park right out in front of his house.
And that he'd already discussed it with Angel.
Which that's a good cover.
He kind of did.
Yeah, he kind of did. And, it's a good enough cover that, if Lauren had talked to Angel about it or anything like that, it swings.
It would check out. Angel would be like, yeah, I guess he did mention wanting to take him to the park.
Connor starts fussing. And while this is happening, Lauren is trying to tell Wesley the whole blood debacle thing because Wesley doesn't know about that.
Right.
Yeah. Connor starts to fuss and he starts to hum him a lullaby. And that moment when he's the moment that Lauren is looking at him and then sees what he sees, that's great. But the true moment that really got me was the moment when the look on Wes's face when he realizes his mistake.
Yeah.
When he's like, oh shit, I just sang in front of Lauren. He fucking knows.
Yeah. He gives such a stellar performance in this scene of walking that fine line of he's lying to his close friends and he's really, really nervous about knowing that he needs to play this so delicately because he has to get out with that baby.
And honestly, this whole episode, like the level of just the right level of unhinged.
Yeah.
Like Wes is so at his breaking point this whole fucking episode.
Yeah.
And
he's fucking sleep deprived.
Oh, yeah. And it's played perfectly.
And this tense moment between him and Lorne, that's just the beginning. Because then, so after he's knocked out, Wes grabs the baby and is about to leave, but Angel catches him.
Yeah.
And he suspects nothing.
Oh, like the moment Angel walked in, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. And then, so this whole scene gets so much more tense under the surface.
Yeah.
Because the whole time, Wesley's, that Lorne is knocked out right over there.
Yeah.
Shit could go so south so fast.
Yeah.
If only Lorne A, wakes up, or B, Angel just looks over there.
Right.
And sees his feet.
Because he wasn't like really behind any, like he was kind of behind the desk, but like depending on the angle you're standing in, you would have been able to see his feet from the fucking lobby.
Yeah. So the needle that he is threading becomes like 10 times smaller suddenly. Yeah. And he's in such a precarious situation.
And he gives Angel the same story that, Lorne went out, Gunn and Fred are out. I don't know where Lorne went. He just said he had to go, must be with a client or something. And then he tells Angel, yeah, I was thinking I'd take Connor to my place for the night so we could play in the park in the morning. There's a lot of kids there and everything.
And Angel looks weird about it at first, but then really, really luckily for Wes, he's like, that's actually a really good idea right now. But Wesley doesn't know about the blood
exactly
thing. But Angel probably thinks he does.
And the beauty of it is there's no way in hell Wes's lie here would have fucking worked if it weren't for the fact that Angel was like, oh God, I'm affected by this blood. I need I need Connor gone.
Yeah.
Like it's Wes is so goddamn lucky.
So lucky, yeah.
So fucking lucky. He's also kind of aided by the fact that he's looked strung out for a few days now.
Right.
So like probably that kind of masks some of his nervousness.
And I'm surprised Angel hasn't really checked in with him more on that. That's kind of
he has a little bit. He has a little bit, but
he's got an excuse because he's been hepped up on the human blood.
Right. Not just that, but also like he's a new parent, and like when you're a new parent, that is your entire fucking existence for a bit.
Absolutely.
Like babies are ridiculously demanding.
Mm-hmm. No, this is just written so well.
Yeah.
It's so rare that I can say that an episode of Angel is, or even a single scene from Angel is written so fucking seamlessly and engagingly. You can feel the tension in Wesley as Angel's taking his sweet time saying goodbye to the baby.
Yeah.
Because, again, we know that Lorne could wake up at any moment.
And then Fred and fucking Gunn walk in.
Yeah, the fucked factor just goes up even more. Another 10 times. Angel asks Wesley about Sajan and wants him to research him before he goes.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'll say goodbye to Connor and you research Sajan real quick.
Just like, real quick.
Oh, man.
Fuck off. That's probably like a week's project for him. But Wesley's like, no, I have better books at home. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart to see Angel after Wesley leaves. He has no idea what's going on.
Right.
He's just sad about Connor being away for the night, but tries to spin it that, this is good. This is going to be good for both of us.
And I like that Gunn offers to like stay up with him.
That was really nice of him.
Yeah. Like you're going to you need a night away, but also like this is going to be hard for you.
Mm-hmm. That was really nice of him. I mean, he just kind of volunteers Fred's time, but I'm sure she's cool with it.
And then another part that I just think is fucking brilliant. The moment after Wes is gone, the moment Lorne makes any sort of noise from the office, they're like, what's that noise? In walk in Holtz and all his goons.
Yeah.
And so they don't even get a chance to go like, what was that noise in there? Mm-hmm. And so that razor's edge is just carried longer.
Yeah. Cut to commercial. And after exchanging the requisite pleasantries,
Yes. Just a bit of banter.
and Holtz learns that the baby isn't there, they fight.
Hold on, I got a quote of the day here. Angel asks of Holtz, "Did you come here to fight, or should I just make you some tea?"
Yeah. Tea's a running thread in this episode. I like it.
I like it.
And Lorne wakes up during the fight, and after a good row, Angel has Fred try to call Wesley about the baby, but Lorne brings them up to speed on his read on Wesley.
I also wanted to point out, though, during the fight, Fred just fucking murders a man.
Did she?
She shot a dude in the chest with a fucking crossbow. He's human.
Good for her.
Right? She actually shot 2 people with a crossbow, but the other one was definitely still alive. The first one she shot, there's no way he lived through it.
He had it coming.
I mean, probably.
It's fine. It was kill or be killed. They were going to kill them.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Fuck right off.
But it strikes me as interesting that this is one of the times where, like, they are fighting just people.
Yeah.
And, like, actually killing people.
It's always kind of weird. But, Angel, when Lorne gets up, he's like, "Man, they got you good, huh?" He's like, "No, this was Wesley, actually." "Oh, no." Dun, dun, dun. Cut to Wesley. As he gears up to drive off with the baby, about to get in his SUV, Justine approaches him, appearing to be in distress, holding her stomach like she's wounded.
She's got some bruises and blood on her face.
It looked pretty legit, like she got fucked up.
I don't think this is a ruse, but not to spoil it, 5 seconds later. But
son of a bitch.
This is a ruse, but like I don't think for a second that Holtz was like, "Okay, we're going to fake this." No, he's like, "Okay, Justine, you're going to have to fool Wesley, so I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
We're just going to have to rough you up a bit here, but we're going to have fun doing it, okay?"
Yeah.
So Wesley is very suspicious at first. He pulls his gun, and, he should be, because he has the fucking baby, and it's Justine.
Yeah.
But he believes her when she tells him Holtz was everything Wesley had warned her about, and she's all staggering and on the verge of crying. And when she's like, "Yeah, I tried pushing back against Holtz, and he beat me up." And Wesley puts his gun away and lets her get right up to him, and he's like trying to help her walk. And she just pulls a knife and slits his goddamn throat and takes the baby.
Doesn't fucking hesitate one bit.
Not a little bit. She takes the baby and drives off, leaving him for fucking dead.
And this is one of those times where it's like, sometimes when you're in this biz, your empathy can fuck you over.
Yep. I don't think empathy's normally a weakness, but in this case, there's an argument to be made.
Yeah.
So
I definitely wouldn't say it's ever really a weakness, except for this kind of scenario.
This very specific type of scenario. So cut back to the Hyperion,
where there's a bit of upsetness happening.
What?
Everyone seems a bit upset.
No.
They can't contact Wesley at all. Angel guesses that Holtz was specifically delaying things so Wesley could get away, because the way Holtz kind of conducted himself, he kind of already knew that the baby wasn't there, especially because Holtz left. If he really thought the baby was there, he would have ransacked the place.
Right.
The only way that he could have known that the baby wasn't there was that he knew that Wes was taking the baby.
Yeah.
And so he surmises they're working together, and that was just a ruse to get more time.
Yeah, which it's unfortunate that is a very logical conclusion, because that's the one part of this that's not true.
And I both love and hate the fact that Gunn is still defending Wesley.
Yeah, absolutely. Him and Fred never lose loyalty for Wesley, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Because Angel's just fucking ready to kill Wesley.
Oh, yeah.
Gunn urges caution since they don't know the whole story. Fred has to break up a fight between Angel and Gunn. She reminds them they need to find Connor above all else. Arguments can wait. Angel quickly tortures a couple goons for information and gets an address out of the second one very quickly.
I'm with Wolfram and Hart.
Everybody should have a lawyer like this.
Mr. Winters shall never be convicted of any crime. Ever. Should you continue to harass our client, you'll be forced to bring him into the light of day.
I want that stricken from the record.
someplace I'm told that's not all that healthy for you.
So Fred and Gunn go to Wesley's place to find him, hopefully before Angel does, because he will murder him.
Yeah.
Angel's off to find Holtz at the address that the guy gave him. Lauren stays in case Wesley comes back, and he holds up a billy club pathetically, and he's like, and this time I'll be ready. But I don't think he believes it any more than I do.
No, he really doesn't. I love Lauren. Lauren's not a fighter.
No.
I like that his go-to combat maneuver is like screeching at high-pitched
screeches, yeah.
It's very effective,
It's
though.
ridiculous, but it actually makes some real-world sense, too. I mean, and it makes sense why he's a good singer, because he's got a much broader vocal range than a human.
Yeah, because he can break glass with ease.
Oh, yeah.
Cut to the streets outside of Holtz's house, where Lila's there with a bunch of special forces guys. They're trying to track Holtz, but of course he's not there. They get a radio call.
That he's at the 6th Street Bridge, and they all fuck right off in that direction.
Yeah, but of course Angel happens to be there and takes out a couple of guys and hijacks a Humvee.
He does do exactly that. He steals their truck and he joins the convoy.
Which, that's handy.
That is handy. Cut to Holtz, where he rendezvous with Justine. It
was all a ploy.
Steps out in front of a moving SUV and really, really hopes that they stop and that it's actually her.
Yeah.
But it was. He got lucky. So he informs the baby directly that he'll be growing up with him in the middle of nowhere.
I love how he says this like the child fucking understands him.
Right. It's good expository technique. I like it. And it's a good bonding technique.
True.
Talk to the baby. Of course you're going to talk to the baby as it's essentially as his father now.
But yeah, I'm your father, Justine's your mother, and your name's, I don't even remember what he fucking said his name was.
Yeah, so are these, I don't either. Are these two fucking like together now as a couple?
I don't think they're supposed to be.
That's kind of weird.
I think that's
he was
just
more like a father figure to her
Yeah.
than like a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think they're romantically entwined in any way.
Yet. She's got some daddy issues.
I mean, yeah.
I think it's gonna...
She's got a lot more than just daddy issues.
Oh, yeah. But Angel cuts them off as they drive. So they drive off, and Angel's like, oh, no, you don't. And he cuts him off with his fucking Hummer, pushes them off the street.
Excuse me. I just got to say, it's a Humvee. It is not a Hummer. A Hummer is the consumer bastardization of a Humvee. Thank you very much. A Humvee is much larger and should not be on regular roads.
Wow. I don't care.
I know you don't.
That's cool. So Angel cuts him off, pushes him off the street. They quickly end up in a standoff. Lila and her army on one side of the standoff, Angel in the middle, and Holtz and Connor are on the other side of it.
And then to brighten everyone's day, Sajan also shows up.
Yeah, and Holtz is threatening to snap Connor's neck if anyone tries to take him. Angel wants Holtz to take the baby rather than see him get hurt.
Yep.
Lila is breaking her deal with Sajan and wants to take the baby instead of killing it now. Sajan is displeased by this and opens up a fucking portal. We find out later it's not actually a portal, but he opens up a fucking portal to a hell dimension and threatens to suck everyone into it if they don't kill the baby.
Before that, though, I did want to mention, I like this bit. One of the guys gets a little too close to Angel, so Angel grabs a hold of him and then takes his gun, and he points out to the rest of them that bullets won't kill him, and bullets will kill all of them. Maybe pointing a gun at a fucking vampire, not the best of choices.
Yeah.
And now he had a gun.
It'll definitely hurt, though, and slow him down a little.
But yeah, Sajan opens this rip in the fabric of space-time.
Reality or whatever.
To the Quartoth. Yeah, the Quartoth.
Something like that.
It's specifically the Quartoth as well.
Mm.
Like, It's just one of those places.
Whatever.
But it's some sort of hell dimension that is the worst of the worst of the worst, I guess.
Yep.
Threatens them all unless they kill the child. And then Angel at this point reluctantly agrees to just let Holtz take Connor because it's Connor's best chance to stay alive.
He doesn't want to see the baby get hurt. He'd rather see the baby get raised by Holtz. And I think somehow he knows that Holtz won't hurt the baby.
Right. If
maybe even a little bit feels like that this is making things right for when he killed Holtz's family.
Maybe. But yeah, once the portals open, everyone starts panicking a little bit, and then Holtz decides, you know what, fuck this, and jumps through the fucking portal into the other dimension.
He shoves Justine down and out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
And runs to the portal. I wasn't sure why exactly he did that. I guess maybe to keep her from following him.
Right, probably that.
To save her life, because he does seem to care about Justine in a really fucked up way.
Right.
But he does. And he takes Connor and he leaps through the fucking portal, and Sajan is just as surprised as the rest of us.
And Angel decides he's going to follow, and he jumps to follow, but then the portal hits him with lightning and throws him across the fucking ground.
Oops.
And then Sajan closes the portal.
And he's like, well, that solves my problem. I'm good here. And we still have no idea what his motivations are.
Before he zips out for the episode, he says, all right, then have a good summer. And then he flips out. And this is a meta joke, because this episode aired right before the summer break for the show.
That's
and
funny.
So there's a month or so between this episode and the next episode.
That's funny.
So that, yeah, it's a fun meta joke.
It does feel like a season finale, but
Yeah.
it's not technically. I would call that more of a fourth wall joke than a meta joke, but same diff, I guess.
But it's mid-season finale.
Sure.
Is kind of the thing.
So, yeah, we still have no idea what his motivations are. He wants the baby and Angel dead, I thought,
Yeah.
but whatever. Lila's like, well, fuck, we tried, and leaves Broody Boy to his suffering. And Angel, well, he does a damn good job brooding there alone as everyone else fucks off into the night.
We got our Broody Angel back.
Good work, Angel.
Yeah.
I salute you. Grr-arg.
Grr fucking arg.
Is this for me? I must be ready. I need my strength. Give me more! Nights I shall walk in the earth.
Hold on. You've got something in your eye.
Oof.
How'd you feel about this episode?
Hell of an episode, Rex. Hell of an episode. This is one of few episodes that makes me go, oh, yeah. I remember when that happened, and that time I was also like, whoa, that's fucking crazy. Whoa. This is a pivotal episode.
And not only that, especially compared to some of the most recent ones, this is a good episode.
Yeah, I mean, that scene with Wesley trying to escape with the baby,
yeah,
makes the whole episode worth it right there. But it wasn't the only good scene.
No, there's a lot of tension. They do a great job in this episode of pacing it out properly, so that the tension stays. They didn't do anything weird where they revealed something beforehand to release some of the tension. No, they ratcheted up the tension and then fucking left it there.
Yeah,
and it's so fucking good.
And they've got us legitimately questioning whether Wesley's going to live through this shit or not. Laying there holding his bloody throat.
Yeah.
In the middle of a park at night. Yeah.
This is a very good episode.
Crazy fucking episode. I think we covered pretty well throughout the episode what we liked about it, so I don't really feel the need to go into too much detail about it.
No.
Do you have a quote of the day, Rex?
It's hard. It's hard, and not because there's so many of them. Like there weren't very many that stood out. There weren't really any funny ones.
Well, before you steal mine, I'm gonna give you mine first. So
okay.
Mine is Angel at the beginning of the episode. He says, "Yeah, and you look like hell." And not the fun one where they burn you with hot pokers for all eternity, but the hardcore one, you know, Nixon and Britney Spears. That's the best I got. Yeah, you're right. There weren't really many funny ones.
No.
I did also like it when Wesley said, "It sounds like a nice cult."
Yeah, that's a good one.
But, I already said both of those.
Okay, I'm actually going to give a quote that we actually kind of skipped over during our run-through of the episode. During the really high-tension scene when Wes is like, I got to get the fuck out of here with this baby.
Yep.
And enter Gunn and Fred. They're back with hoagies, and Gunn mentions, hey, where's Lorne? If he's not here, Fred will eat his hoagie. And then Fred is like, I will not. I've already had 2. And then looks over her shoulder like she's looking for Lorne, and it's like, unless he's not here. Just like she's like, I will eat a 3rd one.
I missed that one.
Well, and it's like not as noticeable because like the tension is so fucking high because you're like, oh my god, is Wesley gonna actually get out of here?
Yeah, and it's a running gag now that Fred eats so much food,
right?
Because she's so skinny. That's funny. Ha 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 ha. Man, I just realized I'm really fucking hungry now.
That sucks.
Thanks.
Well, this has been another episode of Ale with Angel. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. Join our Facebook group. We like to interact with our fans on there. If you'd like to support our show, the best ways to do that are first through iTunes. Give us a review. And remember, if we get to 75 reviews, we're giving away a free hoodie. But you only qualify for that if you give us a written review. You got to give us a written review. And also, if you give us a written review and you send us a screenshot to the email, we will get a sticker to you. We are totally aware that there are several people that we need to send stickers to, and we're working on that.
Yeah. By the way, that's a screenshot of the editing screen.
Yes.
Not just the review that anybody can see.
Yeah. If you'd like to support us more directly and become one of our executive doodle-doos, you can do that at patreon.com/beerwithbuffy. And, we got a cat naming perk on there. Doesn't come up very often, but hey, it's lots of fun. And don't worry, Elon, we will get to naming your car very soon.
Very soon. Like in a month or 2.
We got a lot going on here, folks. We got a lot going on here. Speaking of which, things we got going on is our store is currently down. We're working on it. We're coming up with solutions.
It's going to be okay.
We will have that up and running as soon as possible. If you'd like to get in touch with us about any of this or questions, comments for the podcast, you can do so a couple of ways. You can call or text our voicemail line, 269-743-0783. Or you can also email us, beerwithbuffy@gmail.com. Last but not least, thank you very much to JJ Treadway for opening transition musics. This has been Ale with Angel. I'm Rex.
I'm Josh.
And have a good night.
Good night. Sleep tight.
Yes.
Isn't that the name of the episode?
It is.
Sleep tight. I did it.
Hey, Josh. Do you want to do this again? Right now?
I'd love to, Rex. Let me start a new file. Okay, thanks. Bye.
You don't like the color?
You have a sacred birthright. You were chosen to destroy vampires, not to wave pom-poms at people.
Why can't you people just leave me alone?
You are the Slayer.
Go ahead.
I'm a watcher. I haven't the skill.
Oh, come on.
By appealing to your common sense. Incubi, succubi, everything you've ever dreaded was under your bed, but told yourself couldn't be by the light of day.
One girl in all the world.
Common sense.
One girl in all the
Common
world.
sense. It was a bit, British, wasn't it?
Whee!
Wait, what have we done? Why are we watching this?